Good morning and welcome to Tours Forge. I have made some promise to people on Facebook and to show the features of this spring hammer. Spring hammer is the expression for the Swedish word fjäderhammare. We don't use particular words for like a trip hammer, like the ones, the Little Giant, for example, or the bow drill. And we don't say held hammer. That would be the American word for this kind of hammer, because of the construction. We in Sweden we have just one word for it, and it's spring hammer, because it's a mechanical hammer, not an air pneumatic hammer. So that is the main difference, and we're not so picky, so we just say one word for it for every spring-powered hammer or spring mechanical hammer. Okay, so that is an explanation of words. Okay, so in American terms, as I said, this would be a held hammer, and there is some features about the power I would like to explain for you, because the power of a mechanical power hammer has three things, especially when it comes to the held hammer. It's only two for the trip hammer, but the power the hammer can generate is, of course, the ram weight in the first. To be first to explain the power that this kind of machine can generate, okay? And the second is the RPM. If you can, the faster the hammer hits, the more power it can generate because of the spring, and that is mostly true for the trip hammers, okay? For the Little Giants and bow drill, etc., etc. But when it comes to held hammers, you have three things that make it hit harder or faster. Okay, of course it's the RPM, it's the ram weight, but it's also the leverage of this distance between the axle and the crankshaft. This is very important. It's probably more important than RPM, because if you can shift this to a longer, you have a longer distance here, and you have more power. It's basic physics, okay? If you have a pry bar and you have a short distance here and a long distance here, you get more power, okay? It's the same with the held hammer. Okay, and Swedish held hammers are often equipped with something that can actually regulate the length of this and the height of the ram head. So you can actually adjust this quite a bit. And this particular one is quite simple but very genius. It's only the adjustments is made by this. And Marcus, stay where you are, and you can see in the full picture how this works. You can see the ram, the ram is rising, so you can have different stock like this, but also you can see the crank here is actually, when I stop doing this, you can see it moves back. And this means more power to the hammer. So I have two different settings on this one. So here you can adjust the height of the held or the ram height in this position with the crank as far back as possible. So you have, it stops here, and you can see we have the same amount before it even moves. This is when the hammer is in full power and full RPM. It goes a little bit faster this way. It has more hits per minute than when it's in the position where it's in the front. Okay, so Marcus, if you please just take a close up here how the crank moves. We can see here it's going back, and now it's in the, if you look at the ram is in the lowest for small start, and then we'll continue, and you can see it rises, but the ram or the crank stays in the same position. And now this hammer hits more gentle and have a little bit less blows per minute compared to when it's in the maximum position out here. And this is one of the, this hammer is a geniusly made by this, very simple compared to, I will show you another hammer that works in the same way. It's a held hammer, but it's it has another way to adjust, a little bit faster, but you need two different settings for it. So Marcus, if you come with me, I will show you another one. This is an Agno number 2, and I will move out of the way. And this has a separate ram control, so you can adjust the height by lifting this like this. You have to, if you're a weak person, this would be quite hard because you have to lift a 40 kilo ram like this, and it's actually quite strenuous to move it around, even for me sometimes, if you're not in the right position. And then we have the same thing here. Marcus, I don't know if you can film from this way so you can see. We have a small adjustment here, and this, of course, it controls a little bit of the height as well, but also how hard the hammer hits. Here it is in the most gentle position, and here is the hardest hitting and most RPM. So it's the same, but you need two different settings for this, and that is quite a nice. It's a very good hammer, this one, but the other one is more in an engineer's point of view. One, it does the same thing as this with one setting, and it's a lot easier to move around because it's a gear that drives it, not like this. It's you have to use arm power to move around. So well, I hope you liked the video. It became quite a long one, but have a nice day.